Hello everyone, or anyone that is watching this. Welcome to a brand new episode on keep forgetting. A new episode on KamenRider Blackman. And if you are watching this video now, then you know that's Friday, and I post 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and Fridays, both at 2 p.m. And for today, I am reviewing KamenRider ZO's Episode 7. The only reason why I'm doing this now is because the subs take a whole week to, or at least a couple of days, to be translated and finally be uploaded. And so now, I'm finally getting to it. Now, before I get into the episode, one thing I forgot to mention in my last episode, the one that I wanted to just talk about, are the time checkers so far as villains. They're actually quite interesting with the goal of altering time to replace Omazeo to create their own king using the Another Riders. And one more thing. The fact that the Another Riders are actually people too make the time jackers even more sinister because they're using people in tragic moments, like in their lives and in time. And so making them Another Riders, making them the monsters of the show, and so that they could save whatever is important to them. It's interesting how they use that to make them sound like the good guys, and it just sounds quite interesting for me, for just for how manipulative their methods are. And one more thing to talk about. The Another Riders as a whole, the monsters, these are some interesting looking monster designs because they're twisted, and that's the point. Like, not design wise, but my favorite one so far would probably be Another Forze, just because it has all of Forze's powers and whatnot. And so he has that rock. So just, yeah. And that's interesting. But my favorite Another Rider design-wise? That's a tough call. Because I really can't think of one, or I don't have a favorite now. But I just like the Another Riders as a whole. But I just like the Another Riders design and whole thing as a whole. And now that I've said that, let's get to the review. Must be a public access show. We start off in 2012, where I believe a magic show is happening. But off the bat, the focus isn't on the musician, it's on the technician who makes a contract with Wool, who probably has had their chocolate by now. I will always love that scene. Anyway, contract is made, and now the technician, Hayase, has become another wizard. Now, finally getting onto our antagonist, Sogo comes home where his uncle now has a customer with a broken VCR, and they're taking it to a clock repair shop. And really, people bring their stuff that aren't clocks to a clock repair shop pretty often because, I'm sorry, what was the thing he got last week? Like a stereo? And I don't know, it just makes me think that Japan doesn't have a lot of electronic repair shops. Because apparently, to the uncle, at least it's good for business, even though he gets a lot of other appliances to fix. So frankly, why not turn the clock shop into an electronics repair shop? Anyway, Sogo brings up that his uncle can fix almost anything, and his uncle replies back and brings up the name Wizard Hayase, an upcoming magician who so happens to be the technician Hayase, who is now a magician, and one with a show in a small theater that we saw earlier. And that sounds fun to everyone except Gates.
いいか、俺たちはこの時代に遊びに来たわけじゃない。そもそもお前は友達でも仲間でもなく、俺たちの標的だ。忘れんな。
Talk about a hate boner. And for as offended as Sogo should be, he actually takes that insult and twists Gates' words around so that he could come with him to the magic show. And one quick moment right now, I want to say something about Sogo. Like, yes, he wants to be a king. Yes, he has his moments where he sounds like an idiot. But for all the hate people seem to give him, they're not bothering to realize the one thing. He actually knows what the hell he's doing. Yes, he has a lighthearted attitude to actually take all this in, but people keep seeming to forget. In episode 2, he found the weakness for the Another Riders. And in episode 4, he gave more insight into the Monster of the Week in that episode to get why they're doing this and found out what could have prevented them from doing this so far. And I've already altered time to save said victim. I'm not saying Sogo is the best, but I'm saying that he's far from the worst. And coming off of build, he's not brilliant like Sento, but he's not a Gary Stu like Agito, brainless like Kiva, or whiny as all hell until he finally decides to take charge like Ghost. Like, trust me, like, Sogo is far from the worst. So anyway, so Sogo, Tsukomi, and Gates go to the show, and Woz is back to stalking Sogo. I don't know, at this point, I'm just accepting it, so yeah. And noticing that he's been growing close to Tsukomi and Gates, thinking that he should go down the path of Omazeo that they all know, and frankly, this is quite a different side of Woz that we've never seen before. And real quick right now, before I go any further, I have a laptop with me so that I can... So basically, it would help me with remembering of what I'm saying. It helps me remembering what I'm saying. It helps me with remembering what's in the episode and whatnot. So yeah, I just want to give that quick note right there. Just in case anyone was wondering why my eyes were sort of turning away. But on a serious note, yeah, this is a different side of Woz that we have not seen before. So it's actually quite interesting. Because up to this point, he's just been Senpai Knows Me. And I feel like this is like a good half of a focus episode on Woz. Because the second half of this is going to be on Gates. So, back to the magic show. It's a good show, but Gates assumed that it's Another Rider and recalling KamenRider Wizard. So at the end, when the show ends, they all decide to talk to Wizard Hayase. That's the technician's stage name. And by talk, I mean let Gates act like a hard ass and force him to transform, even though he didn't do jack yet. So yeah, Gates acts hard-headed and attacks another wizard. And I say attack because... yeah, that's right. I say attack because another wizard's he's not doing anything to fight back except using spells to block Gates and throw him off. Like, he creates walls from the ground, and he levitates pipes and whatever to Gates. And yeah, pretty much that to defend himself and escape. And he gets the opportunity too once Sogo transforms and just gets in Gates' way by, I guess, shrugging him off. And at this exact moment, Gates calls Sogo weak, and Tsukomi, they both have all of this to say.
存在そのものが危険なんだ。あの力をいつ手に入れたのか。まずはそれを知る必要がある。奴に白状させる。
相互の言うこともわかるけど、ゲイツの言ってることもわかるでしょ?
Racist.
Yeah, even I'll admit that. The fact, it's a bit of a broad statement, and I know that another writers are a bit dangerous involved for the timeline-wise. But, yeah, he really didn't do anything. Like, another wizard really didn't do anything, and if they talk to him in, like, a calm manner and explain everything, maybe, I don't know, I'm not saying it would be foolproof, but it would be worth a shot. But, nope, violence. Anyway, so Gates runs off to a rooftop and runs into Schwartz there when he freezes. So, first off, Schwartz does that thing how he does when time is frozen. When he freezes time, people can't move. Like, they're stuck. And Schwartz levitates Gates off of the roof and drops him, only for Gates to be saved by Woes. With Schwartz still there, seeing Woes, curious if he is on their side, and takes his leave. This is also... So Woes also has some type of... He has some type of association with the Timejackers. So, that's... The reason Woes saved him, in his own words, is for an opportunity to reconcile and to please Sogo. And the point of that sounds like Woes actually does have a bit of a history, but not just with the Timejackers, but also with Gates. And because he recalls sometimes, like Woes recalls sometimes that him and Gates had together, but Gates doesn't really remember and tries to fight Woes. And that happened because what it is Gates charges in at Woes, and Woes just goes, ha, no, flies off. So maybe, yeah, Gates and Woes do have a history together, and Gates just doesn't remember. Well, focusing back on Hayase for a moment, Hora finds him back at his house. I don't know, maybe Woes and the Timejackers do have a history together and used to have a ring of stalkers. And, well, used to be a ring of stalkers. Anyway, Hayase informs Hora of Zio and Gates, suggesting that he should lay low, but instead tells him to use a deeper wound to get stronger and help out to what he wants to do more, because it would also help with him becoming Hora's new king to replace Omazeo. So we go back to the theater owner and we learn two things right now and half. The first one is that 6 years ago on Christmas, when Hayase became another wizard and used his powers to save the theater that used to be ran by the theater owner's father. So that's why he became Wizard Hayase. And the second part of his backstory is a way that I really don't like. Because it's been done, I'll say this right now, it's been done in tokusatsu like a million times by now, and I still don't like it. When the motivation of a villain... I'll finish this first. Hayate's friend and his now rival proposes to the daughter of the theater that's closing down, and he does not take it well. And now we're at my least favorite part. Another wizard's motivation this whole time is a woman. You know, with all the magic tricks that he can do, he can't use a magic hat to pull bitches out of it. I mean, hell, a baby can do it. Anyway, now that I'm done I'm sorry, let me get off this, let me get to this, like, still a bit more. I don't like it when the motivation of an antagonist is over a crush, or basically that. I don't like it when the motivation of an antagonist is a crush, because it's the most pettiest thing ever, and someone could change their mind on that immediately, positive or negative. They can use that energy for bad, and it's just too, I don't know, it's too pea-brained and it's too pea-brained and ridiculous. You're a bad guy and you've done all this so far, and your reason for going this far was over a woman. You can move on, you meet someone else, but that Pacific one made you do this, made you be an antagonist. That just, stuff like that, it just doesn't sit well with me when the motivation is a woman. Because I find that, it can easily be fixable if I'm wrong or not. You could, like I said, you could move on. You can meet someone else. Yeah. But that's just me, though. Anyway, where was I? Anyway, now that I'm done being off topic, Gates finds Hayase as another wizard with someone watching from behind a tree that so happens to have 2 ride watches. Whoa. And that's someone that we will get to know who it is next episode, because if you're watching the show by now, then you know who I mean. Anyway, unable to catch him, Gates goes back to another wizard, and Sogo and Tsukomi pursue him thanks to Wozo's warning. With Hayase out of control, Gates goes to Phi's armor and temporarily beats him. Still not clearly done with Gates, because still not clearly done with him, because at this point Hayase is de-transformed and Gates still acts like an ass, and Sogo just stops him from doing anything any worse.
Gates, やめてよ。こいつは人を襲い始めた。お前のぬるさが招いた結果だ。でもここまでする必要はないと思う。ならやるしかねえな。
Gaim did it better. And frankly, Gates he's just working on himself to make himself just unlikable so far. And Sogo thinking about this logically, it makes sense, but once again, to end this episode, Hora arrives to fix the another wizard ride watch, and another wizard knocks Tsukomi out with a spell. Okay. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to show this prime example of my acting by hitting a wall. And thus ends this episode with Woz talking to himself about Sogo and Gates' relationship. So now, overall, this episode is okay for the most part. The whole time-traveling aspect of this show still remains surprising, because this episode starts in 2012, and it becomes a matter in 2018. It shows how impressively active the Time Jackers are, considering that they could just go back and alter time, and we wouldn't be able to notice. But what I also like about this episode is the sudden focus on woes, and that sets itself up for us to learn more about him in the future. I'm still not a fan that Hayase's whole reason to becoming another wizard was the daughter of the theater owner, because it's stupid, petty, and I just really don't find it to be all that deep. But that's just me not liking that motive of a woman, because it has been done before in Tokusatsu like dozens of times. Anyway, the whole Zio versus Gates aspect of the show, it's a small matter for the most part. And yeah, it could grow, but we'd have to see from it. But for now, I see that that doesn't surprise me that Sogo and Gates disagree with each other. But I do agree that Gates needed to be called out this time, because Hayase, he really didn't do anything at all. And Gates was just being violent as all hell. And yes, like, he needed to be called out on it. Yes, Tsukuyomi did side with him on how another riders are, and that they are dangerous. But you're also forgetting that these are also actual people. So, and not every monster so far has been the same. Because another build, he was just acting like a mindless monster, but another Xaid and another Forze/Phis, they were in total control of what they were doing, so even that's something to keep in mind. I rate this episode like a 7 out of 10, because Woe sounds like he gets some interesting development down the road, and it's also a two-parter, so it's always a setup for next week. Anywho, that has been my review of KamenRider ZO, episode 7. Did you like my review? What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, to tell your friends about it. Also, like I said earlier, like, I have my laptop here. It's because when I review episodes, I take note of what's happening and make sure to remember what's important. So and also what to edit. I basically have like a whole script here to help me remember, because I'm afraid of what would happen. Because I would be a little afraid of what would happen if I didn't have the script here and I missed something important. But either way, that's been today's video this week. It came out on Friday. But it's still fine. It's still in the week where it's still fresh. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends about it. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye, everyone.